and the leader going quite comfortably now. He won't be rushing too much at the moment. He'll want to get the feel of the track this afternoon. So there's 523, and here's the second man who's chasing. Starman Bert Finnegan, number 55, and 286 is right there with him. And there he goes. Putting the bumper in now. He's not afraid to push. The white top wisely moves over, and the leader now is 55. Bert Finnegan comes sweeping through. So that's Bert Finnegan into the lead. 523, the white top, Barry Burton. 55 from 286. That's the scrap. Out he goes wide. Now the back marker. Now this is where problems can come. You've got to choose which way to go, but the back marker conveniently moves to the outside. And in goes John Chilson, and he's going to get himself popped in it. He's very careful here. He puts him over the curbing, and that bounces him off. And as they go over the line, it's Bert Finnegan who just gets it. So as they came to the final turn, Bert Finnegan thought he'd got it in the bag. John Chilson made one last effort to try and get him out of the way, nearly came unstuck in the process, and Bert Finnegan managed to shake him off and still grab the checkered flag.
Well, it's quite obvious there's some real power out there on the track. This magnificent beast of a machine belongs to the Wolf, Len Wolfenden, current world champion. Len, how much power is there underneath your bonnet there?
On the back wheels there's about 300 brake horsepower at 5,000 RPM. And that's, you know, it's literally like drag racing on a small circuit. The back axle's welded up. We use a wheel stagger to get around the corners. The car weighs roughly 2,900 weight, you know, just short of a ton and a half. And it takes some handling on a small track with perhaps 26 cars on the track at once.
Well, 190 is the Wolf's number. He says he's in good form at the moment. His first race is in Heat 3. Let's go back to the trackside and join Nigel King.
And there's the world champion, and from the right at the back of the grid, he's already up into 6th place and going very well. 4 laps gone. 462 now takes it up. Pete Davids. And he's got 160. Andy Stott chasing him fast. And in fact, Andy Stott goes through into the lead. That's the man who currently is second in the national points chart. So he's notched up the valuable points, can justify being up front there. And up into second place now comes the world champion, 190, then Wolfenden. Right behind him, number 2, Willie Harrison, you saw there. And there's only one man there chasing, and that's car number 160, Andy Stott. Here they are. This is the leading group. 160, 190, and 2. And those 3 now opened out a little bit of a gap ahead of 212 Frankie Wainman. 367 is tucked back a little further now, and he's going to have a job now to get back in touch with them. So 160 in that immaculate car. Beautiful paint job, handling well. But now here's a chance for Len Wolfenden. As Andy Stott gets held up by that back marker, he's now got Len Wolfenden right on his tail, and there's 2 more laps to go. Now, what are the tactics going to be? Sit there and hope he'll go wide, or is he going to have to put the bumper in? Chances are beginning to run out now. 1 car length between them. That back marker on the outside is always a hazard. Len Wolfenden sticking tight as they go into the final lap. Is Len Wolfenden going to sit there and take second place, or is there going to be a big push coming as they go to the final turn? Andy Stott tries to get a bit of an advantage. The push goes in. I don't know whether it's going to be enough. Then Wolfenden on the inside. His foot goes down, but as they go over the line, it's a very narrow thing. 160. Andy Stott takes it by what, a short bumper, I suppose.
Well, no wonder the competition is fierce out there. The British Championship is really only second in status to the World Championship. So it's a big day for Hartlepool Stadium to put on an event like this, and a big day too for their promoter, Warren Taylor. Warren, how much of an achievement is it for you to stage a meeting like this?
Well, it's quite an achievement, and also I get a lot of fantastic backing from the drivers who allowed this championship to come to Hartlepool Stadium. It's a good feather in the cap for them, and I'm very pleased with the turnout today. It's absolutely fantastic. It looks that the money's going to be well and truly raced for today. There's no doubt about that. It's going to be hard work for anyone to win the championship today.
How big a stronghold of stock car racing is Hartlepool now?
It's becoming very popular there now, Roger. It was a struggle in the first 2 or 3 years, but it's coming right there now. Everything's coming into shape. It's a lot easier to run meetings the longer you go and put them on. We're getting a lot more interest throughout the area, a lot more local drivers who are becoming very competitive, so it's getting a fairly good stronghold there now.
Well, as Hartlepool Stadium has grown as a stock car centre, so too has the flow of local talent from the region. Men like Mike Close, Gerald Taylor and John Toulson. Let's catch up on how they're doing in the heat so far.
And the start car takes a slightly different exit route onto the grass as we get underway with this heat. Quite good talent in this particular event, and the local hopes are resting with a couple of drivers. 199, reigning European champion there. That's Mike Close from Starbottom, which is over near Leyburn in North Yorkshire. He must be in with a very good chance. And the other guy, 250, and that's Gerald Taylor from Coxhoe in County Durham. And he was one of the original winners of the British Drivers' title when it was held under a different format way back in 1972. So we'll see how they get on. So there's Bert Finnegan just going through in second. He's come up very fast indeed. Behind him we've got the 53 car of John Lund. 199 Mike Close is there as well. In the closing stages now, 2 more laps to go. Back marker in there, and we go back to 250, and a little way back it's still 53 John Lund, and then 199 Mike Close. So there's 55. That's the leader. Inside the closing stages as he goes over the line to take that checkered flag. All ready now. Valuable points for Bert Finnegan in 55. So the 1, 2, 3, 55 Bert Finnegan. In second place, 250 Gerald Taylor. And in third place, 199 Mike Close. Local hopes in this one rest with car number 286. John Toulson comes from Middleton in Teesdale, and certainly one of the North East's up-and-coming stars. There he is, John Toulson, 286, doing quite well in the national points chart at the moment, lying 5th in the points table here at Hartlepool. We'll see how he gets on. In fact, he's just been overtaken there by world champion 190 Len Wolfenden. The leading car goes rather wide and lets the Starman go through very comfortably indeed. And that's the sort of problems that happen when one goes out of control. 3 or 4 more go in, and that's taken 4, now 5 cars out of the race. World champion Len Wolfenden putting the pressure on 260 Starman Dave Beresford. Now, how well is Dave going to be able to withstand that pressure? That's really the question that has now to be answered. A little bit of psychological pressure first by sitting on the tail, then comes the hardware, bang! Out into the fence goes 260, and the world champion goes up front. That's why, of course, he sports that go through. The rest of the field come funneling through. 260 is still there in second place, Dave Beresford, and the third place at the moment is still car number 218, Derek Fairhurst, a little way back. But there's no doubt about who's going to come home first in this. Over the line he goes, 190, Len Wolfenden. 260 is second, Dave Beresford. And in third place, it's 218, Derek Fairhurst.
Well, have you ever seen a collection of trophies like that one? Unbelievable, isn't it? The man who won them all is Stu Smith, perhaps the most famous name in stock car racing history. Stuart, unfortunately, you won't be adding to that collection today because you've got a bad back injury. But looking back over your career, how much has the sport changed?
Well, in the beginning, it virtually started with bangers, old cars, what you could buy for next to nothing, MOT rejects, you know, and it's sort of evolved from that, really. Now we're racing very sophisticated machines around a small quarter-mile oval. The idea is to get round as fast as possible. We use special suspensions, big engines, you know, very strong cars that will take a fairly good wallop. But we're only allowed to use ordinary road tyres, which generally cuts the speed down, which I think is a good thing, really, because we get plenty of action then, pushing and shoving and race changing and all that.
What is it that appeals to you in stock car racing that maybe you wouldn't find in any other motorsport?
Well, it's virtually pretty safe. It's a pretty safe sort of motorsport, even though we do quite a few somersaults now and again and get our cars wrecked. There's 1 or 2 injuries, you know, around the job, but compared with Formula 1 Grand Prix racing, it's dead safe, really.
I'll take your word for it, having seen today. Thanks very much.
55 going right through there on the inside to take it up. So that's Bert Finnegan now into the lead. The white top goes down to second, Barry Burton in 5.23, and he's now got Gerald Taylor in 2.50 there in third place, coming now to put the pressure on in this final couple of laps, or final lap now, to try and take the second place. But the man now who's looking all set to take the checkered flag on the left of the picture is 55 Bert Finnegan. A little further back, we've got a battle for the second place, but it's going to be 55 Bert Finnegan who wins. Second goes to 250 Gerald Taylor, and third man sneaking up right at the end there was the star man 304 Dave Miller. 2 more laps to go for this man 160. He goes through, and the second place man is still 36 with 199 now right on his tail. While we've been watching the leader, 199 has gone up into 199 has gone now through up into the next place. 36 is tucked in behind him, and 218 is there as well. 1 more lap to go. There's 199. He's going very nicely now. He's got himself in second place, but the man who's through and clear is car number 160, crossing the line now to take the checkered flag as the winner. So a nice win for Andy Stott in car number 160. Andy Stott.
On to the final heat then, and plenty of support for world champion Lynn Wolfenden as he aims to snatch a place in the front row for the final. So what tactics can we now expect from the Wolf?
Well, the basic tactic is to get to the front as fast as possible and stay there. It's not a case of pushing a driver that fast that they can't make the corner. It's a case of dumping the driver on the back bumper to get him wide enough for you to get through on the inside, and then close the gate once you've gone through, you know, and obviously going as fast as ever you can.
Frankie Wainman, one of the very competent drivers in the sport, knows his way around the tracks. Well, at the moment, 304's playing a bit of a waiting game. He's going to have to change that because time is running out. There'll be 2 more laps to go when they come through this time. But if Dave Miller's going to put the pressure on in 304, in that rather unusual car with that high aerofoil on the roof, then now is the time he's really got to do it. Maybe he's going to adopt the attitude that the points he's gained will put him in the final, and he doesn't want to risk damaging the car at this stage, and therefore perhaps the second place will be okay. I suspect indeed that is going to be the policy. A second place and the points that it brings is better than finishing up in the fence and not being able to go in the final. So there we are as they come over the line. 190. Len Wolfenden takes the first place. 304. Dave Miller is second, and 212. Frankie Wainman comes home third. And so this is what it's all about, the trophy that they're chasing this afternoon. And at the